how much do you think discipline ties into happiness? Like, how much do you think it's important to happiness?
In terms of discipline, I think discipline is not about going somewhere when you want to do it. It's about doing that thing when you don't.
Yeah.
You know, it's a case of like, you've got work to do, but it's Friday, late evening, I'd rather go wherever.
Yeah, I mean, it ties into to consistency, isn't it? Like, it's like you do it whether you feel like it or not. You know, it's like the mindset of a champion.
Yeah, I think consistency is doing something consistently, often, and then discipline is doing something that you don't want to do, because it doesn't take discipline.
Yeah, but I think they go hand in hand, don't they?
Yeah, they do. But like for me, discipline means that you do something you don't want to do because of the fact that it doesn't take discipline to. If you're enthusiastic about going to work, it doesn't. Or cleaning the car. If you're enthusiastic about cleaning the car, then it doesn't take discipline to go and get it done. But if you don't want to do it because it's cold and it's cold and whatever, then that's being disciplined to go out and get the job done despite not wanting to do it. So discipline for me is something you don't want to do, but you do.
Okay, so that's an interesting point that you just raised. And to me, I think like when we talk about like happiness and discipline, I think that's why it's an important thing to be consistent in the things that you enjoy and actually like basically working on things that you enjoy doing. You know, like honing, like how they calling it? How they call it? They call
honing
it
a skill.
No, not honing a skill. Doubling down on what you actually enjoy and making them and like turning them into like skill that you can actually like get reward from, basically, right? So it's like whatever you're good at, you just triple down on that and then get better at it, so people can actually like start seeing your actual how do you say, your actual like talent in it, and they can actually like maybe like monetize you or whatever. Like you can actually get paid for doing it, whatever. Basically, if you're good at something, don't do it for free, right?
Yeah.
So if you're disciplined in doing that thing, and if you're consistent at doing that thing that you actually enjoy, at the end, it's not going to feel like work. At the end of the day, like, let's not take this to the extreme. Like, everything that you do, even if you enjoy it, if you do it enough time, it's going to start to feel like work. But still, it's better to feel like work doing something that you actually like since, like, you're a kid or whatever, than doing something that has nothing to do with your interest at all and, like, having to force yourself every single day, right? So it's, like, kind of working smart as well.
Yeah, at the moment, you've got a lot of people in the world who are pretty damn unhappy, you know? There's, like, job losses, there's people ill, winter's now upon us, if you're not a fan of winter. I mean, we've had good news with the vaccine and stuff like that, so that's cool. But at the same time, there's a lot of people who have been put in a really crap situation, and they're now dealing with unhappiness. So I don't think it's just about being able to monetize a skill or just having the discipline to go to the gym. It's also about perspective. And, you know, when I say uncertainty, even people that have a job who aren't even sure if tomorrow the company's going to be around. You know, that sort of uncertainty when you've got responsibilities such as, you know, kids, or you've got apartments, or whatever it is that you're trying to hold down, because everyone's got their responsibilities. You have your concerns and worries, and I think they're a good thing. I think it's a good thing to be concerned about your responsibilities. Otherwise, you're not going to be responsible with them. You'll have no driving power to go and achieve or go and work or whatever. But when it's taken out of your hands and it's a case that the company is now like threatening to make people redundant or fire people or cut salaries or whatever it is that the concern is now finding a way to kind of compartmentalize all the drama that's going on. So, you know, I've got friends who've really had a bit of a rough ride over the last year, but they've managed to find focus somewhere else. You know, one of them's really into art. They've managed to kind of take what they enjoy doing and put their energy into something positive. Funnily enough, they're going to be looking to try and monetize it because they've managed to be so productive. But again, I think that's another thing. I think a lot of people this year have lost their identity because we associate work with paying the bills, but for a lot of people, it's identity. You know, it's one of the first questions you get asked.
It becomes a part of yourself, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it doesn't matter what your job is. It's like one of the first few questions that you would naturally ask someone if you wanted to get to know them. So it becomes like a pride about you that you're able to say, I do this or I do that. And again, that And that's where I think discipline and happiness come in. It is being able to kind of step back, you know, say, right, crap time, uncertain time. It's all a bit of a drama. Someone in the family's ill. There's whatever it is. Step back and just consolidate your thoughts and be like, okay, what can I do to positively distract myself? You know, you might not be in a position to get anything monetized. Your situation's your situation, but you have to dig deep and find something that's going to be making your day a bit better. You know, for me, it's exercise. For me, like my day, if I exercise, then my day is generically a good day, or I'm able to face things a lot better. If I don't, then I know that it's different. That's not for everyone. A friend of mine loves computer programming. He does it for he does it on like a Python, and he just loves
Python.
I tried to do it. It's quite good, but relaxing, no. But for him, that's you know, that tickles his pickle. He loves it. So he ends up going and programming and stuff. Whatever it is that you focus your time on, as long as you feel like you've got something out of your time, and it doesn't need to be hours of a day, it just needs to be a bit of time where you feel like you've done something, you've accomplished something, and that takes discipline. That in itself is a discipline to go and do something that actually you know you'll enjoy, but you're feeling like shit. You're now sitting on the sofa and you're thinking, I don't want to fire up the computer and start like coding. I don't want to pick up the paintbrush. I don't want to go for a run. But if you can dig deep and find your trainers, get your paintbrush or whatever the hell people do when they code, then you'll get something bloody good out of the day.
Yeah. Well, I just want to clarify something. Like everything that I was saying about like discipline and like monetizing your skills, I was not talking about it like in the context of like Corona and stuff, like the pandemic. I was talking in general. But it's true that in terms of like the pandemic and stuff, like it circles back to like what I was saying before when we were talking about happiness, is that you should have something that obsesses you in a way, like in a healthy one, obviously, like that you wake up every day and like, okay, I want to do this today, and you can actually like work on that, and that works as some sort of like escapism and stuff. Like, you know, for example, like editing this video that, for example, we're shooting right now, it's like it's a form of escapism because it's something that you enjoy doing, and like it's actually productive to you, right? And also like doing other things such as, like you said, like having these habits that basically work for you. So me, for example, what I do to like for like fitness and stuff, like I try to just make it easy on myself. I got a pull-up bar, and I know that even if I don't like go outside and do something like very like intense when it comes to like working out today, I can just like bang out like 4 sets of 10 on my pull-up bar, and I'll feel like, okay, I've accomplished something. I've worked my back, my lats are popping out. I got them gains, right? So I feel good.
Gains, baby.
You got them gains, bro. Like you got a floor at your place. You can do 4 sets of 10 push-ups right now. Like, you know, like when you start thinking in that kind of way, it becomes very like, it becomes a lot more productive and just easy because it's accessible. You have it like right there at home. Like even if you don't go out, there's always something that you can do. And if you start thinking in that mindset, I believe like it can be very like good for you. And what was I gonna say? I was gonna say also what you were talking about, like when it comes to like people like and their jobs and stuff like that. I believe that is very important for people. Like, you know, you were talking about like how people like associate their identity to their jobs. I think it's important for people to have interests outside of their jobs, like interests that can like little side things that they do. Like right now we're doing a podcast, right? It's that's an example, right? Because like it takes work. It takes work to actually like do the podcast, but it's also enjoyable because we're having a conversation, and like it also like gets me to like know your views on certain things that I didn't know before. So it's kind of it's like an actual conversation where we argue, and it's like, okay, like I'm finding out things and I gotta like come up with certain like responses on the spot, right?
Yeah, so well, that's exactly it. I mean, we obviously speak on the phone about subjects we want to have a look at and stuff. But even earlier when you were asking me certain things and we were like, nah, can't talk about it there. We talk about it on the camera. We talk about it on the microphone because that then gives like it gives authenticity. Otherwise, what's the bloody point? We'll just sit here with a script and just read. We can fake
there's no
it.
Script. That's the thing. It's not scripted. This is real.